Well, the weather's great, the base is complete, so I guess now we'll do a tour of the base. So, the base originally was designed off of a prefabricated bunker. Like, there was a small bunker that you could find in the game, and twice that I played this game, I found this little bunker and just kept growing it and growing it. That being said, that was not at all how this base ended up. This base ended up completely different than planned. Um, but I'm pretty happy with it in general. There are several parts where I'm very unhappy, and there's several parts where I was very pleasantly surprised. So let's hop in and take a tour of the base. So one area completely unplanned was this parking garage. I've never made a parking garage in this game before, and so, well, mainly because there was never really vehicles in this game when I played. Like, when I played, we had the mini bike. I didn't even know there was this 4x4 truck in the game. So, we designed the parking garage to allow a lot of, like, air to flow through it. So we have these, like, big open areas here, and we have gardens on both sides of the parking garage. I think in overall this area turned out really nicely. So people working at the base can commute here by car and park in the parking garage. Then we open it up into our main hallway. This is our main hallway. So let's check out the crafting room and the loot room. So this is the loot room. And we have a reasonable time of day where the sun is shining through the glass. When the sun is about here is probably the time when this room is best illuminated. But yeah, this is the somewhat functional loot room. It's very similar to the loot room I designed when I actually played this game for many, many hours, like in the normal survival style. So normally there should be 2 chests here, 2 chests here. So basically this room needs to be expanded a little bit. So I was trying to make this room as similar as possible to my original loot room, but it ended up being a little bit different anyways. So this is where raw materials would go. This is where food would be stored. This would be medical. This would be stuff we can read. And again, this is supposed to be two boxes. This is for gun parts. This is for assembled guns. This is for ammo parts. This is for ammo ready to use. This was for clothes. This was for armor. This was for tools. And then this was for refined parts. Or, sorry, refined materials. So, for instance, like here you would put your iron ore. Here you would put your ingots. And then let's go downstairs to the craft room. But yeah, like I said, I took a lot of time to design this room to allow the sun to have maximum light coming in here. So that's why it's a little bit lopsided. But I actually am very pleased with this design. I think this turned out a lot nicer than I originally planned. Because originally I was going to make it like this, just this little like concrete room with no windows or anything. And I think this is a much better and more interesting design. Because these pillars, they like swoop this way and they kind of like lay flat with the sun coming in. And then this part over here is kind of mirroring this part here. And I just think it looks really cool the way it's like set up diagonal like that. And it looks very strong too. So let's go downstairs to the crafting room. So this is for, this is a little storage area for like the crafted room stuff. And here's our crafting room. Originally I thought about making this like a bottomless pit, but I ended up going with water instead. And I'm actually happier with the water. So we have some staged chemistry workbenches and forges down here to give you kind of the idea of how this like crafting room would work. I say staged because I would actually have this designed differently if I was like playing it. But I'm super happy with how this water area turned out. I think it looks fantastic. Because it looks a lot deeper than it is, but like it's actually like quite shallow. But we painted the floor here granite. So it creates this almost like, it creates this illusion of like being deep water, like having more depth to it. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So let's go back up top over here. This is kind of an empty area. I'm not too happy about it, but I could find use for it if I really needed to, but I don't need to, so. Yeah, from up here you can see how the room is like nicely illuminated, and how the like downstairs area looks really nice as well. I'm very happy with this design. I think this looks very good. I think this is just fantastic. Looks very interesting. It's not boring. It's not dull. This is probably one of the parts of the base that I'm the most happy with. And with the sun coming up, you can see it. You can see it a lot better. All right. So the next big thing to show. Well, we have this like indoor garden area here that I was working on. I want this to be like green grass, but it ended up just being kind of like mud. I'm still not sure what cubes allow you to have green grass, but once I'll figure it out, I'll put green grass in here. But this is the tree in our base, and it's right here. It's like this nice little open garden area, so it's kind of cool. So this base is designed around this command room. I really wanted to build like a massive command room. So here we have room for 20 people, as well as the commander walkway above. The only real big downside with this is I was not able to cover up the whole ceiling. But I'm super happy with how the screens turned out. And I was thinking about putting like some flavor text up here. I was thinking, originally this is kind of like, my thought process for this like command room is I wanted it to be kind of reminiscent of like, I don't know, like I wanted it to be like a command room. I wanted it to be kind of like Nier inspired, where it's like, it has that little like elevation difference, but also like this. So it's kind of like NASA's, it's kind of, okay, yeah, it's kind of like NASA or government-y, or, because with the Nier thing, I was thinking about putting like up here like glory to mankind or something, which is not the catchphrase, obviously. Because I wanted it to be like a different catchphrase for like a different company or like a different government section, like prior to the events of all that stuff. Obviously, I don't know much about the lore of that game. I only know a little bit, and I'm very intrigued. But I wanted this to be like a super incredible command room. So So this is like a typical little workstation. And it was important for me to have this section here because it's supposed to be like a neutral area where people can like walk through. But yeah, it's kind of like, kind of cool from over here actually. I've always viewed it from like these upper angles. Like this is a good angle, I think. Yeah, this is a really good angle. Because you can see our garden tree over there. And you can see the big screens, and I like that this is like completely closed. So yeah, this is the command room where people are here, they're working, and they have their little like open cubicle area, which then allows them to also see the screens and stuff at the same time too. So I thought this was the main focus of the base. This is the main thing I wanted to create. And it's also one of my biggest disappointments in the base. So this is one of the main things I wanted to create. And as far as the floor, I'm super happy. As far as the screens, I'm moderately happy. The area where I'm not happy is the ceiling. The ceiling ended up not being able to complete because any further beyond this point and this concrete breaks and falls. So I tried to finish the area with bulletproof glass while also having this area open to allow light to actually go into the room. So I wanted this area open here to allow light in, and I wanted this open, this open, this open, and I wanted to do like a big opening here. I wanted this concrete to be connected, but doing that is just impossible because like any further this way and the concrete breaks. Like basically concrete breaks at a distance of 13. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this would be 12. And then if I put one here, it would break and it would be 13. So if I wanted this to go all the way 12, I would have to start here and like this way it would be 12. So that's how this whole slab over here is able to stay up. Because from this distance to this distance is 13, I believe. I get a little confused sometimes with how I explain this because the starting block to me is 0. So if the starting block is 0, then this is 12. If your starting block is 1, then this is 13. But this is one of my biggest disappointments, not being able to close the ceiling completely. However, the room itself I'm extremely happy with. I like this elevation difference. Oh yeah, this was supposed to be only 1 pillar, but it ended up being 3 pillars because for some reason my concrete kept breaking with the metal rails. I guess the metal rails add too much weight and it would break here in the middle. So I put this and that in order to give it this elevation difference. This is how it would look from like someone working kind of in the middle of the area. Front row would probably not be so great. But yeah, I think this room is best appreciated from a further back distance. This is kind of an awkward angle because the ceiling is kind of ugly. Over here, I think, is a much better angle. If I can, like, get the ceiling out of the shot. Yeah, there we go. I think this turned out really, really epic. Really cool. But yeah, the command room, like I said, is the main focus of the base. When I set out to make this base, I wanted to do the command room the most. So we did do the command room, and this is what it looks like. Alright, so let's go this way to where the officers reside. It's kind of an open hallway here. So here is the conference room for the officers. This is kind of like a downstairs work area. This is like a relaxing break area with the vending machines and the drink coolers. We have this little stairs area here, which is not really that useful, but it's okay. This break area is the main idea for what I wanted. And then this conference area I wanted as well. So coming up here, this is where the person in charge of the base is. So when you come in, you're facing the desk. This is where the big boss resides. This is my base. What are you doing here? And then we have these little like wooden walkways to get around. Over here is our upstairs work area for the officers. And then this way leads to the catwalk. Which this is the all-important view that I was working on. Because I wanted the commander to have a great view of the base. So this is like the commander's point of view. Originally, I was going to make this, instead of 3x3, 5x5, and I was going to put a desk and stuff up here. But when I did put a desk up here, it like took away from the view. For example, like see, having this desk here, it's like, it takes up a lot of visual space. So by removing it, we have a lot more visual area that we get to see. So I ended up just leaving this open. So it's not really a usable space, but it's very cool. Like here's where your commander would be. Like I said, this is supposed to be like some kind of like government slash maybe big company that's like focused on saving the world in the zombie apocalypse or preserving humanity or something like that. So that's kind of the lore behind this base. However, the base would have been repurposed because the base allows room for people to commute to it, because that's what the parking garage is for. So this is like an originally this is like I guess like a government structure perhaps. Because it allows people to commute to it. So it couldn't have been built like post zombie apocalypse, right? Because this is 7 Days to Die. So yeah, this base was I guess it was built during normal times and then repurposed to save humanity, or at least that's the idea. Or preserve humanity for the future. I left myself a little opening here so that I can come this way to the residential area. But not to get people confused. So here we are on the Commander Catwalk. We're gonna come this way through the officer offices. And now let's go check out residential. Residential is one of the areas that I'm least happy about. So here's our roof access, like I said. We ran from over there to come over here to have roof access. So this is the residential area, and like I said, this is probably one of the areas I'm least happy about, or most unhappy about. So the interiors of these like residential areas, I didn't spend a lot of time decorating because I didn't want them to be perfect. Like the goal was not perfection here. So this person's bedroom has a little bit of tree. This is like their bathroom area over here. Over here is a storage box with a view. And here's the downstairs kitchen with a bar. And then the person who lives here also has an upstairs. So they have this like little game area so that they can invite co-workers over and they can play some pool. Then they have their personal storage area here, their personal office area, their personal bed. So this is a 2-bedroom, this is like a 2-bedroom residential area. So this one is the one that goes downstairs. So what we have here is a kitchen. Over here is the bedroom. Over here is the work area. Where's the bathroom? Over here. Over here is the bathroom. Which, for emergency purposes... So check it out. We're at red right now. For emergency purposes... And also, I'm unhappy that this is like 2 doors, but what can you do? Well, I can redesign it is what I can do, but it, like... I didn't really feel the need to redesign this whole thing. Like, it's okay. It doesn't need to be completely redesigned. But in case of emergencies, these 2 residentials are linked. So this is the bathroom of the other one. So we were at red. Now we come out here and we're at green. So red, green. These are linked through a underground passageway. This guy has a big entertainment center. He likes watching TV. Oh dear. This guy has a big entertainment center. He likes watching TV. It's got a very big kitchen with a little bar area. Here's the bedroom, quite small, and the closet/safe area. So like I said, these residential areas I did not care too much about getting perfect. This one I cared a bit more for. This is my residential area. So originally my residential was supposed to be over here, but this whole wall is taken up by the command room, which is very, see, like the command room, it takes up this whole area, which I thought is very, very lame. So I decided to switch my residential area from here, oops, to over here. So let's explore my residential area. So when you come in, it's quite open because I like to have an open space. We have our large kitchen, complete with microwave, refrigerator, sink, coffee machine, toaster, soda fountain, beverages. We have our oven here with an air duct. So the air duct is there, so you heat stuff up, it goes in there, very good. Table for 2, a little bit of bar area. We also have a pool table because I think that's fun. Kind of tucked away safe. We have our gun racks, we have our lockers, we have our armor and stuff. We have our little office area for 2. For me and my waifu. And then we have this like big living room area. And one of the main things I wanted to do with this one is I wanted to create this like interior loft. Because I thought it would be really cool to have like an interior loft. So it's supposed to be like from here you can see how tall and massive it is. Like it's a 2-story like penthouse kind of thing. And then over there I wanted it to be like the loft area. So it's supposed to be like a 2-story penthouse. So going up this way, this ended up being kind of a bummer. I wish I did a little bit better with this. But here you can see, like, every place you go is covered with rails. And you can look down. Hey, what kind of movie are you watching down there? Or we can come out of the bedroom and look at our waifu down here gaming and ask them, "Hey, are you winning, son?" And then they'll quickly turn off the monitor, and then I'll just go back in here and close the door. But anyways, yeah, so this is meant to be like an interior loft. So you can see down, and you can see like the living room and the little office area. And the main view that I wanted to capture, you actually can't see it from this side of the room. The main view I wanted to capture, you can see from this side of the room, which is like this direction. This is the main view that I wanted to capture. I know there's this I know there's this little hill here, but this is the view that I wanted to capture of the mountain in the background. So part of me thinks if I were to redesign this, I might make the entry to the room like here. And the purpose of putting the entry of the room somewhere over here is so that when you enter this area, the bed could be over here. So when you come and you chill on the bed, you can have the great view. But right now the bed's over here, so no view. But this is the view that I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture this view, which is like originally why I said my residence was supposed to be on that side, because then you wouldn't really have this wall here, and you would have like it'd be easier to shift. So basically, if I put my residence over here, which is what I was planning, this would be the catwalk, and then this would be the room here. This side over here would be the room. So if I put the bed against the wall, it would be this wall here, which would translate to being this wall over here. So from the bed, it would give you the view. But since I flipped it over to the other side, the bed went against that wall, and now the view is not... It's not correct. It's not right. But it's still okay. And then this is the bathroom. Not the nicest one I've ever created, but it's alright. But yeah, the main part about my residential that I wanted to do is I wanted to have this like indoor loft and feel like you were in like a 2-story penthouse, and give you that like, I don't know, skyscraper rich people feeling. And also I wanted it to be like when you come up here that it's like open, which this kind of closes it off, but this kind of gives it that open vibe. So I think in general this area feels pretty open, but it's not perfectly how I imagined, because like I said, the way I imagined it, it would be like flipped the other way, because originally, like I said, my residence was supposed to be over here, but because of the command building, all view from over here was taken away. So after that happened, I was just kind of like, well, I don't know. I'm not too invested in this residential area, so let's just set it up so that, you know, something's there. And then let's spend time on the one that I actually want to reside in, which this would be my residence, like I said. And that's the whole base. So to recap a couple of the cool areas that I'm happy with, I'm very happy with this parking garage. I think it turned out way better than I was expecting. And I'm glad they put vehicles in the game. I think vehicles are very cool, very exciting, and I think that's awesome. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the parking garage turned out. I think it's really excellent, and I'm very, very pleased with it. It's not perfect, but it's pretty reasonable. And I like how this these little like parking lines worked out. I used a concrete block with like a metal trim on it in order to create this like this outline for the parking. And most of the vehicles fit in it pretty well, with the exception of this army truck. This army truck does not fit very well. However, that's okay. The army truck is supposed to be a static object anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much about it being able to reverse. But if this thing moved out of the way, it could reverse and it could turn. There's definitely room for that. But yeah, I'm extremely happy with how the parking garage turned out. And I'm extremely happy with how the loot room slash crafting room turned out. Oh, right now the sun is up there. So you can see it's actually pretty bright in here, which is nice because I wanted a lot of natural light in this base. Hence the high use of bulletproof glass. Originally I used wooden frames and I had to remove all of them because the wooden frames do not allow enough light in, so we had to remove them. And also, this is supposed to be a different color, I think. It's not that important, but we had a lot of painting problems. But I think originally, like, see, these are hard to paint. Originally, I think I went with this paint. Yeah, because right now it's a concrete color, isn't it? Are you concrete? Yes, you are. Okay, so that's a little bit of a mistake. I spent all this time making sure these rails were like the proper color and everything. And then over here, we started goofing around with painting these rails. Oh, and as you can see, this one's concrete color, which is not what we want. See, small imperfections, but yeah, originally, yeah, this should be a different color actually, but now it's going to be hard to paint because they all have to be erased first, and then okay, so we'll just leave that. But yeah, I just noticed that. And then here, this downstairs pool area, I'm super happy with this. I think this turned out really, really nicely. It's very cool. But yeah, those are the two areas of the base that I'm most happy with. The parking garage and the loot room slash crafting room. Residential to me is really just kind of bleh. To me, it's really just kind of bleh. With the exception of my residence. My residence I'm pretty happy with in general. But like I said, this upstairs area could probably use a redesign. And also, I want to have the bed against this wall, not against that wall, so that the view... So that you can have this view here. Which, yeah, that's, you would have gotten the view for sure from the bed on this side, because it would be against this wall here. So if it's against this wall, then it'd be against this wall, which would give you the view. But we had to flip it because of the command building. So I'm a little unhappy about that. But like I said, residential area, it's pretty bleh to me, with the exception of my residence. I'm pretty happy with my residence. All the other ones are kind of lame, though. I'm very happy with this indoor garden area, except I wish I could put grass here. Like, we have all the dirt, right? Like, here are all the dirts. Where's the grass at? I've used forest ground, I've used topsoil, and they both end up looking like this. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding. Maybe people are screaming watching this video in the comments like, how do you not know how to put green grass on the ground? Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, as of right now, I don't remember how to do that. I think you have to like water it or fertilize it or something. But they took the hoe out of the game. Like, the hoe is no longer in the game, so I don't know. How does gardening work in this game nowadays? I don't know anymore. Because there used to be like a hoe that you could use to like fertilize the ground so that stuff would grow. It doesn't seem like you do that anymore. But I'm super happy with this little like interior garden area with this tree. I think it's awesome. I think it looks awesome from outside of the base. I think it looks awesome from inside of the base. I just think it's, in general, just an awesome thing. Like, see the tree right there? So, like, here, when you're looking at the base, you have that, like, depth of dimensions. Like, you can see this tree is behind the base. You can see this tree is behind the base. You see this tree is in the base, and you see this tree is in the base. And I like creating that, like, depth of, like, the base and nature and how it's kind of, like, interwoven. I mean, I'm not trying to say I created something amazing or special that no one else has ever thought of before. But I like the fact that there's greenery and trees inside the base. Like, I'm happy this garden is here, I'm happy this garden is here, and I'm happy this tree is here. Like, you see? Got these gardens here. And the gardens are at different elevations as well. Like this, the ones in the middle are higher elevated to give it a more full look. Because when they were all the same level, you could look this way and be like, yeah, like you can kind of see with these blueberry bushes here, if you focus here, you can kind of see how like, because they're the same exact model, the whole way, you can see like they kind of look like they have a copy and paste kind of look to them. But when you change the elevation, specifically from your viewing distance, it doesn't look like it's like identical models. Like here you can see it. Yeah, here you can see it when you're looking like right here. You can see that they're identical models laid out, but from here they look very natural. And we achieved this by creating an elevation difference. And you can see that elevation difference here. And also we had to come up with something to hide the dirt. Again, like I said, this would look better if it was grass, but I'm not sure how to put grass in here. Like, for example, this grass right here. If I could put that over here, it'd probably look better. But yeah, you can see the gardens have an elevation difference, which again gives it a more natural look. And you can see here how they look behind the cars and stuff. But yeah, in general, quite happy about that. I'm happy that they're exposed as well, albeit behind bulletproof glass, but you know. And then I'm happy, in general, I'm happy with the command room. I think the command room turned out pretty nice. minus the ceiling, which was a disaster. Because I don't know what the heck I was thinking that I could make a ceiling of like, I don't know, 30 or 40 cubes across. So that ended up being a little bit of a disaster. And the main like viewpoint that I wanted to do for this base is like this area. I wanted this to be like the primary viewing point of the base. Or this room, sorry. This room. I wanted this room to be viewed from this angle. And part of the reason why is you can see the elevation here matched with the window behind it. So you can see the catwalk and the window kind of interrupt each other. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is the catwalk interrupts the window. Like you can see the windows all the way across and then the catwalk is here. But yeah, this is really cool to me how we made this big room. We can walk all the way around it. My character's leg is sprained because I was flying around and stuff. Oh, this is an interesting angle. I don't think I've ever viewed my command post from this angle. This is pretty interesting looking, wouldn't you say? I'm doing a tour. Why must you be hungry during the tour? Stop. And then another viewpoint that I really like for this base is here. But this is a more elevated viewpoint, so it's not perfect. But being this close to the window just lightens up the room, as you can see. Like coming here, the room gets a lot darker. But coming here, it'll brighten up real quick. So anytime you're next to the window, you just brighten up the whole room. And so going over here, this kind of like officer hangout area, I'm not too happy with actually. Like I like the conference room. I like the break room. But lore-wise, it kind of breaks because we have residential for 4 people. Granted, it could be like two people per residence, I guess. Like if they were like together. This like main office area for like the person in charge, not the best. Could be better. And then this area too is just more office space. So this area I'm not entirely happy with. So the officer area, the residential, and the command room I am not too happy with. But our loot room and our parking garage I'm super happy with. It's funny because these were the first 2 things we built. The first thing we built was the parking garage. The second thing we built was the loot room. And these remain my 2 favorite parts of the base. Like I said, residential over here is just kind of whatever. Officer area is kind of whatever. And the command room is super special and awesome to me. And it was the main reason why I wanted to build this base. But like I said, not being able to finish the ceiling is a big bummer to me. However, this command walkway is just the best. I feel like this turned out really nicely. Even though it's not necessarily like a usable space, I feel like it turned out really nice. Yoha! Glory to mankind. Written across here, we could do that. And like I said, I know that's not the catchphrase. This base isn't supposed to be mimicking that. Oh no, I still have some wooden frames here. The base is complete. We don't need wooden frames over there. There we go. I'm super happy with this garden again, like I said. Having this like greenery on display is like fantastic. I kind of am dabbling with the idea, like how would it look if it was like tree here, tree here, tree here, tree here, like have 4 trees like lining on the outside. That would give this room a lot more of a green perspective. And if we could give it this angle, it would allow more light in as well. I don't know, perhaps this could be improved upon. Especially with the fact that the ceiling doesn't close. I'm very unhappy about that. In general, though, I'm happy with this command room and how it turned out. I think it's really, really cool. It's the main room that I was thinking of, which I was like, all right, let's build this base because I want to create this room. This is the room for why this base exists. But like I said, the funny thing is, my favorite part of the base is the parking garage. Probably because of these like wooden pillars. I think these like wooden pillars are a very nice accent. And the fact that it's lined with gardens on both sides, that's why I'm thinking, like, how would this room be different if we lined it with trees? Like, if we lined this whole wall with trees. It would probably give me a feeling similar to this parking garage area, which is like a blend of nature and the structure, like nature and the structure working together. I think it would change my opinion on the base a little bit if this was, if we could like copy paste this and like reproduce it here in like 3 different, so that way there's like 4 trees total. I don't know. Maybe something in the future we could do. But I'm super happy with how this parking garage turned out. I have no problem like copying and pasting this like to another base. I would really like to copy and paste this to another base. That being said, there's some parts of it that I think can be improved upon for sure. Like this is an area of 2. Wait. No. This is an area of 3. 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. But this is just 1, 2. So like, why isn't it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that kind of annoys me. However, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, in general, I'm very happy with the parking garage, and I'm very happy with the loot room. See, now the sun is on that side, so the room is designed to capture light from here to here. So it's like early morning to midday light is what is captured the most. However, you can see even when it's over here in this position, there's still an abundance of light coming in. So I'm super happy with how this room turned out. I think it's very exciting. And I like this pool down here. The pool is very cool. So let's go get some exterior shots of the base before we wrap up the tour, wrap up the video, and we're done playing 7 Days to Die for a while. Let's get some exterior shots. So this is the main shot that I had in my mind. I knew I wanted all the different like elevations to like play together. So in terms of how the elevations work to how I wanted, I'm glad that it creates this like visual perspective of depth. Like we have the parking garage in the front. You can see the command room, just the barely top of it. You can see the command room here. You can see residential, and you can see residential is further away than the command room because we have this tree here. And the tree indicates, well, the tree is creating depth between the concrete, that's for sure. I'm kind of happy with how this came out. Admittedly, this was supposed to be inverted, though. Like, this higher corner was supposed to be over there, and this lower corner was supposed to be over here. I wanted it to be like this. Wait, is this how it is? No, this is the opposite. Yeah, I wanted it to be like this. Instead, it ended up being like this, which is okay. But basically, I wanted to create more empty space here so that the residential could be more obviously seen. Like, if you could imagine for a moment, like, how this might look if the building was, like, flipped. This is kind of like the look that I wanted, where, like, the lower part of the corner is exposed closer to you so that you can see the residential more easily exposed. However, because the tall corner is closer to us, residential is more hidden. Like, I don't know. I hope what I'm saying can be visualized. See, I want this high corner and this low corner. High corner over there, low corner over here. So that would create a look similar to like this, with our parking garage being here, of course. But like the other way around. So I guess this kind of shows like what I was talking about, like residential's more exposed, you can see it easier. Anyways, it ended up being the other way, but I don't necessarily dislike it. I don't dislike this. I think this is fine. This I don't really like. I think this could have been better. The officer offices could be improved on. But anyways, that's the front of the base. Around the side here, there's really not much to see. The main aesthetic portion was like the front. The front was the main aesthetic portion. Like this part here, there's like almost no aesthetics here. This part, the only thing that matters is the interior. The exterior is not important. And then here you can see it's basically one giant square. Residential kind of looks like I don't know, like The Sims or something from this angle. It's kind of funny. Or like a dollhouse almost. We have our like dollhouse residential here. It's kind of funny. How does it look from our neighbor's perspective? It's like, wow, okay. Big structure over here. Oh, right, I was going to remove these things. Oops. Alright, you guys didn't see that. Alright, you did not see that. Or hear that. But yeah, this residential hallway for me was a little bit of a bummer. It ended up not being exactly how I wanted. But I'm glad we played around with elevation differences. Like having our stairway that like goes like this, like one stair goes up, one stair goes down. That was really fun to play with. The difference in elevation was very fun. But yeah, the main aesthetic concern that I had is from the front. I wanted there to be wood. I wanted there to be, like this wood, for example. I wanted there to be greenery, meaning the trees. Let's get rid of some of these corn, because I feel like they're interrupting my view. Punch the corn. Be gone, corn. Okay. So there we go. We can back up a little bit further. See, like I wanted there to be greenery. I wanted there to be wood. I wanted the buildings to have different elevations so that you could have like a little bit of play with geometry in terms of elevation. But I think we can all agree that this side of the base, in terms of elevation and design, is a lot more interesting. This is kind of an eyesore to me, but this is like really nice. I just wish, like I said, it was the other way around. And then I like the tree back here for depth. I think that's really nice. It adds a lot of depth to the structure. Because you can see, like... I don't know, it just, like... geometrically, it just looks really cool. Anyways, that's this base complete. Pretty much. And with that, I think that wraps up us... I think that wraps up our time on 7 Days to Die as far as the stream is concerned. So we built my favorite base from Alpha 13. We built a nostalgic prefabricated structure. And we made a crazy above ground bunker slash command area slash just really cool building. It's kind of funny that building so much in this little area has like kind of messed with my game. I think it's mainly the decorations that I used in this base. I think we over decorated. But yeah, originally, I mean, I would like to build some bases on this side as well, and then maybe build a base there, build a base here. But I think if we do building again, we might start with a new save file. Or maybe we'll continue with this save file. I don't know. But I think it's very exciting to see our bases lined up like this. Although right now the house in the distance is a little broken. There we go. Okay, now the house in the distance has repaired itself. So let's park here and let's take one last look and appreciate what we built. Because we spent a lot of time building these. We spent a lot of time building these. I'm going to mute myself and hide my camera, and we're going to just vibe for a little bit.